Coming up on football tonight, the Benton Cardinals trying to pick up their third win of the season, hosting KC Central on the south side. Plus, while Savannah tries to start 4-0 for the first time since 2012, taking on Lafayette. And it's a city battle in 8-man football. Bishop LeBlond visiting St. Joseph Christian. All this and much more coming up on football tonight. Welcome into week 4 of football tonight. I'm Chris Roush, and I'm not going to say what Mitchell wanted me to, but here is Mitchell Ribberall. He wanted me to say the one and only. I said it, but not because it was joyful for me.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, week 4.
Yeah, week 4.
A lot of football.
Already a month into the season.
I can't believe it. It's already super fast.
And we got some teams across the area still undefeated, trying to keep that going tonight. One team here in town trying to get a winning streak going, aren't they?
Yeah, we might as well start down on the south side. Benton Cardinals, Southside Fall Festival, not the only thing going on south side, St. Joe tonight. Also homecoming night for Benton as they host KC Central. 2-1 Cardinals back home after defeating Lafayette in week 3. And this one, cameraman loses it, but picks it up. Benton gets in for the score. And then later in the first, Rich takes the snap, runs to his right, and does a Patrick Mahomes sidearm pass to Adrian Bird for a big gain. A couple plays later, Rich steps back, chucks the ball downfield to senior Denver Doman for another touchdown. And later on, Rich fakes a handoff and runs back. Avoids the defense, throws down to Devin Hoffman, who breaks one and makes his way downfield, getting into the end zone. And this one was all Benton tonight, winning 63-0. Cardinals will be at home again next week as they host Savannah.
Speaking of Savannah, up in Savannah we go tonight. The Savages hosting Lafayette at MEC play. First Savannah drive, Ethan Dudek dumps it off to Alex Hopper, gets a block, Judd's a tackler, and he's got some room down the sideline. Irish push him out of bounds right before the end zone, but Savannah still finds their way in. Cade Chappelle runs it in. Savannah goes up early in this one, 8-0. Tough night for the Irish, but check out Savannah's Cooper Burnsides on this next play. Just takes the ball away, goes the other way. He's gone. Touchdown for Savannah. Savages scoring twice in the first 3.5 minutes. Still in the first quarter. Savannah's next drive, Cade Chappelle, the 5'9", 188 running back, a one-man wrecking crew, just shrugging off would-be tackler, stiff arms. He's gone. Touchdown Savannah again. The Savages defeat Lafayette tonight 69-0, improved to 4-0 on the year. First 4-0 start for Savannah since 2012.
Spoofhounds traveling to St. Pius tonight in this MEC clash. Zeros after first, but Spoofhounds open the scoring with a jet sweep to Drew Burns for the 7-0 lead. And after a Pius returns the ensuing kickoff, Spoofhounds back on the attack with this beauty of a throw from Derek Quinlan deep down the middle for Delton Davis, who's all alone. That's a touchdown, Maryville, 14-7 Spoofhounds. Coach Webb trying to keep his momentum up for this team. And Warriors, though, march down the field and punch it in here by Braden McPhee to tie this game up at 14 apiece. And late second quarter, Quinlan finds Caden Steckline over the middle for a nice game. They set up this 8-yard touchdown strike, Quinlan to Burns for his second touchdown of the half. Spoofhounds 20-14 at the break, but St. Pius goes on to win this one 34-27 over Maryville.
Over in Chillicothe, the Cayman Dragons taking on the Hornets. Chile getting a big win tonight. They win this one 42-0. And Central, how about them getting a bounce-back win? They defeat William Crispin 40-10. They're now 3-1 on the season.
Don't go anywhere because we are just getting started. We still have a lot more to get to. Like the Bishop LeBlond Golden Eagles facing off against the Lions from St. Joe Christian in an 8-man battle here in town.
And the East Buchanan Bulldogs looking for a win over Lathrop. Highlights and much more when we return on Football Tonight. Welcome back to Football Tonight right here on KQ2. Chris Roush, Mitchell Riberall, and Mitchell. Now we go to the KCI conference, and a couple of teams at the top of that one trying to, again, battle for a KCI conference title. East Buchanan, they haven't lost a regular season game since 2019. East Buchanan, they're looking to try to get that complete conference title this season.
Yeah, and East Buchanan, we know they won the championship last year, so they're looking to repeat, but this conference is pretty tough, and I say we just go right over to Lathrop and start with the East Buchanan. The Mules hosting defending state champs East Buchanan Bulldogs. Second quarter, Bulldogs get a field goal here. They go up 19-0. Now East Buchanan's ball back, and Gage Busby drops back on third, and he goes deep to Aiden Hensley, who makes a diving grab. Great catch, but it was called back by a holding call. In the very next play, the Mules get the interception. They get taken down at the 1 yard line, and then Lathrop on offense hands it off to Levi Smith, who powers his way in for the touchdown. East Buchanan leads 19-7 at this point. Now Lathrop back on offense before the half. Can't get anywhere. Carson White there for the sack, and East Buchanan fixes things at the break, and the Bulldogs go on to win this one 33-7. East Buck gets their third win of the season.
Over to Lawson we go. The Cardinals hosting Mid-Buchanan Dragons. Dragons trying to go 4-0. First offensive play for Mid-Buck. Xavier Rumbala with the keeper. He gets through the hole, and he is untouched. He's off to the races, gets into the end zone. Mid-Buck goes up 7-0 with the PAT. Lawson's first drive, not the way they want to start this off. Dragons force a fumble, and Mid-Buchanan takes over just like that. And guess who it is? Arumbala. Quarterback keeper once again. This time the whole offense pushing him in for the score. Lawson trying to get something going tonight. Cardinals, going to the air a little bit. Drops back, the pitch and catch, trying to just get something going, but Mid-Buck just rolls in this one tonight, getting a 35-0 shutout victory. Dragons now 4-0 on the year. Some other KCI scores around the area. West Platte beats Plattsburgh 48-0, and North Platte beats Hamilton in a nail-biter 25-24 in overtime. North Platte with their second win of the season.
And some more scores around the area. Gallatin getting a 46-8 win over Polo today, and Trenton getting a win over Putnam County as well, winning that one 42-20.
Beautiful night for football over in Maysville tonight. Wolverines taking on the Bulldogs. Way up right after the half. At 6 that will change fast. Maysville gets the pick to set up this beautiful throw and catch. 2-point conversion is good after the pitch and catch for Maysville. It's right here. Drops back to the end zone. 14-6 Wolverines. 2-point conversion good. Not much more will change on the scoreboard. Doesn't matter because the Wolverines defense holding strong. The kids loving it as well. They get the win tonight 27-6. Other GRC scores, Milan defeats Princeton in this one 34-14. Milan improves to 2-2 on the season.
And don't go anywhere, because when we return, we jump on over to 8-man football, where a battle in the GRC squares off with two unbeaten teams with Worth County and Albany.
And also the Bishop LeBlanc Golden Eagles facing off against the Lions from St. Joe Christian, an 8-man football battle right here in town. All right, let's jump into the highlights. St. Joe Christian hosting Bishop LeBlanc, 8-man football. First quarter, Landon Gardner, the quarterback keeper, runs around the outside, cuts it back to the middle. Kind of getting wrapped up. He gets into the end zone for a touchdown. Eagles up 8-0. Gardner's night's not done. Eagles force turnover on downs, get the ball back. Gardner launches Jake Carell. No one around him. Touchdown. Eagles up 16-0. Later, Eagles up 30-0. Lions need to get something going in this one. Jacob Claybaugh hand off to Peyton Hausman. Gets around to the sideline, outrunning every defender. Gets into the end zone. Lions on the board, 30-6. Less than a minute left in the first quarter in this one. Eagles back with the football. Gardner once again dropping back. Scrambles out to his left. One stiff arm and another gets a great block. And guess what? He's gone. A terrific night for him. More on him in just a minute. Touchdown Golden Eagles. Bishop LeBlond defeats St. Joe Christian 66-12. And here joining us out on set is the head coach of the Golden Eagles, Chuck Davis. Coach, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Very good bounce back win for you guys.
Definitely needed that one.
What were you, I guess, kind of coming into this game? What were you kind of feeling like with what this team needs to do?
After the last 2 weeks with two good physical teams, we had a good week of practice, kind of a nice reset into fundamentals, getting a little bit tougher. I thought we came in and executed the game plan well, played a lot of younger guys tonight, and came out with a win.
And I know we can always touch on those last 2 weeks. I know those are tough opponents, but this week, Landon Gardner, I know we talked a little bit before you came on here. Could you talk about his performance?
It's his stat line is something I've never heard before. I don't know the exact yardage yet.
Why not?
Haven't statted that one yet. I'd rather be here with you two fellas.
Oh,
Perfect.
He had 5 rushes for 5 rushing touchdowns. He was 7 for 7 with 2 touchdown passes. So he did not get tackled tonight.
Wow, that's impressive. Regardless, anyone who that is, that especially your quarterback. I mean, 5 rushing touchdowns?
Yeah.
So let's go just a little bit back to the last 2 weeks. What were those 2 weeks like, and what did it teach you in this team?
Hopefully that's the caliber of team that we're going to see down the road. If we can make a run in the playoffs like we want to. We got out of that healthy, luckily, for the most part. And it taught us that we're going to have to be a little bit tougher and play with a little more, a little more lead up front at times. But with that knowledge and this momentum moving forward, hopefully we can take that to a good opponent next week.
Is it good to have those games maybe early in the season where you want to go up against the best of the best, because you have teams like the Worth Counties, like the North Andrews, that you guys go up against and kind of test where you guys are too, because especially after the season you guys had last year?
I think so. I think after last year we had a little bit of an inflated sense of self-worth at times, and we thought we were a little bit better than maybe we are. And the reality check of the previous 2 weeks was important for us to really get to work this past week.
Where does this team go now from this point? Because obviously this was a big one. Everybody knows what Landon Gardner can do across 8-man football. Is there a way that teams can really slow him down that well? Because, I mean, even in the games you guys have lost, he still finds a way to make plays too.
Yeah, I think as he goes, we go at times. And I think at his best, he's really hard to stop. Obviously, he has good numbers even in our losses, even when we only had 12 points against Worth County. His stat line always looks good. So he's very unselfish when he plays. He likes to give other guys a chance to be successful, and he would rather win the game and have 0 carries and 0 passes if that's what it takes. So we're just going to keep plugging along, watching film, and doing the best we can.
Bishop LeBlond picking up a big win tonight, but you had brought us something. Maybe
a little gift.
Yeah.
Well, Mrs. Davis's plants were such a hit last time that she wanted me to bring you one of your own.
That is
I
awesome.
like it.
Yes.
Let's move it just a little bit. There we go. There we go. Now we can see it.
We're going to water it, probably too much.
Okay.
And
it requires very little sunlight.
And if Mitchell's gone a week, we have the replacement.
Yeah, I think I could keep it alive. So we'll see how it looks.
I think
in a
you
couple
can.
weeks.
I believe in you.
We're just going to have a weekly segment where we just water the plant after, a highlight or something.
I'll make sure she lets you know the care options for you.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach, for coming on tonight.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, let's continue on, Mitchell.
Wild card action on homecoming, pulling every single one out of the deck. The handoff there, touchdown, and that's 8-0, and doesn't stop on defense either. Pick 6 right here. No, actually, good tackle there. And then a little bit later on defense, drops back, and there it is. Stewartsville, pick 6. He's gone to the races, breaks the tackle, no one catching up there. And Thunder making it interesting here though, a couple screen plays. And you know what, Stewartsville just celebrating that win, but a couple plays here, nice screen. Chris's favorite play of football right there, and that goes pretty far. Gets tackled inside the 20, and then a sneak later, and it's a 1-score game. But you know what, Stewartsville, just too much. Braxton Gibson and company and the Wildcards go on to win this one 70-30.
All right, Platte Valley hosting South Holt tonight in conference play. First quarter we go in this one. Platte Valley marching down the field for the first score of the night. Aiden Blackford hands off to Carter Luke, gets to the outside, touchdown, 2-point conversion, no good. 6 will do. Then a little bit later in this ball game, Johnny Soka's team kind of in control of this one. They go instead with the fullback, Jackson McCrary, makes this one a 20-0 ball game in Platte Valley. Really good team again this year. They improved to 4-0 now on the year with a 46-6 victory. Some more games in the 275. Nottoway Valley and Rockport. This one ends up with Rockport getting the victory over Nottoway Valley, and then East Atchison with a 7-2 win over DeKalb. We've got more to come on football tonight. We stay in 8-man football, so keep smiling. You're fine.
Yes, I love it. And we head up to Albany for a top 10 showdown in 8-man football. Highlights coming up next on Football Tonight.
Welcome back to Football Tonight. Chris Roush, Mitchell Ribberall, our new plant. I don't know if you can see it that well. Yeah, you can. You can see it pretty
there.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, our new friend. We haven't named it yet, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Well, back to football. No one wants to hear us talk about a plant.
Yeah.
Well, unless it replaces you.
I say we continue in 8-man.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Because I like 8-man, and I think we start with a top 10 matchup. Two Grand River Conference teams trying to move to 4-0. Problem is, they're facing each other. Up in Albany, Warriors hosting Worth County in a top 10 showdown, number 2 versus number 6. Early first, Albany Kemper Klein rolls to his right, finds Kyle Burke in the end zone, touchdown Albany, but the Tigers strike back with a touchdown of their own. It's a back and forth battle early. Albany running the flea flicker, Klein to Burke again for 6. I love the flea flicker, great trick play. Warriors outlasting Worth County today, 36-34.
Other games in the area, Stanberry visiting Knox County tonight, getting a 72-38 game. That game is now final. And then tomorrow, King City hosting Pattonsburg at 5 o'clock in a Grand River Conference game. And to help us break down tonight's games is our 8-man football analyst, Devin Albertson, who made it home safely. That's good. Devin, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, Devin, your game, you had South Holt and Platte Valley. We'll start with that one. There's another one we need to get into as well, but Platte Valley 4-0 now on the season.
Yeah, they're really good. I mean, they went to work tonight, just kind of everyone did their 1/8 kind of deal thing there. Everyone I talked after the game was like, hey, we just kind of did our spot. This is what we're supposed to do. Carl Luke, still good at football. Jackson McCrary, Trevor Weir, Aiden Blackford and company. They're really good. They have a big test next week versus Albany, though, so we'll see how they look next week.
And you know, Devin, we've talked quite a bit this week. I know we're obviously to the podcast, but Worth County Albany was a big game that we both had marked on our schedule. So what do you think of this one and just overall thoughts?
Yeah, so I was following Anthony Crane there on Twitter. He was giving great updates throughout the game there for us in 8-man football, and just kind of back and forth. Two really good teams throwing haymakers at each other. And as good as Tyler New was for Worth County, those weapons, Kemper Klein's the real deal at Albany. And Coach Fountain is a really good coach over there at Albany. He finally has the Jimmies and Joes to go along with his X's and O's, and they're going to be really good this year. And I can't wait to see what they're going to do next week versus Platte Valley. And they might make some noise there in District 4 and the GRC now after upsetting Worth County this week.
Devin, I know we've talked about this before too, but is this Albany's year at this point? Because they've been for the last several years the best team under 500 because they've ran into Stanberry, they've ran into Worth County, they've ran into North Andrew. Now they're the team that's knocked off some of the top guys from the last couple seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. A big win over Stanberry. Week 2, they kind of made their arrival into the top 10 team. And then this week was a let's see where Albany really is at game. And they showed up. They won at home. They did what they're supposed to do, and they got a big win over Worth County, a game that they've lost over the last few years. If you said they're a 4-point loss to Worth County 2 years ago, a 2-point loss to King City, stuff like that they've turned the corner on a bit. And I think Kemper Klein, growing as an athlete, as a senior leader there for him with Porter Davis and company there, really just showed out for Albany. That's a huge win for them, and excited to see, watch that game on replay to kind of see what happened there for sure. But Albany, it's a heck of a win. It doesn't get any easier for them because they still have Platte Valley and North Andrew, 2 other top 4 teams in their schedule, and King City's pretty solid too. So they're going to be very battle tested. They just need to stay healthy going into the playoffs.
Yeah, we just have a little bit more time with you, and we had Chuck Davis, Bishop LeBlanc's head coach, here earlier. Don't know if you were able to see that, but LeBlanc able to bounce back, Albany with the win. So what are your thoughts just going for the rest of the season in 8-man? Like, where do you see teams play out now?
So I'm curious for LeBlanc. They got a big win tonight versus St. Joe Christian. They got Archie coming to town next week. This game I'm doing on Missouri 8-man football. It's a big game for LeBlanc. You saw them with 2 games against North Andrew and Worth County earlier this year where they were overmatched. We'll see if they can adjust that and maybe play with a really good Archie team there as well. But I think a lot of things still work themselves out. We'll see what King State does tomorrow versus Pattonsburg. But that GRC still has a lot of games left. Worth County playing North Andrew. Albany still has King City on the schedule and North Andrew. So I'm really excited to see where everything shakes up there in District 4 because the state champion is most likely going to be favored coming out of that district.
8-man football analyst Devin Albertson, thank you as always for coming on and joining us tonight.
Thanks, Mitchell. Thanks, Chris.
Hey, thanks,
Why am I
Devin.
last?
Thank you.
Wow.
We know why. We
All
know
right,
why.
let's go to Kansas scores. Fine, here we go. All right, over in Kansas tonight, Troy 55-6 victory over Valley Heights. Big win there. Then Royal Valley defeating Riverside 31-20. But Troy rolling early on in their season so far this season. Well, don't go anywhere. We'll wrap things up with our play of the week.
Can't wait.
You know what it is?
No?
You should.
I'll find out.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to football tonight. We'll wrap things up here. About a minute left in the show. Mitchell, our play of the week came from our Central game last week. An amazing interception. You can find that play. It will be on our website, kick2.com, as well as Facebook and Twitter. We'll post those as well tonight. Our play of the week from Central in the Raytown game. But Central 3-1 now on the season. A great start for them. Benton 3-1. Savannah 4-0.
From last year, it feels like a total flip with a lot of these teams, and I enjoy it. I love seeing all these teams win, and I think they could have a pretty successful season if they keep it up.
8-man football kind of feels
Yes.
like we're reshuffling the deck a
Oh
little
my
bit.
gosh,
But
anything's possible now.
and we're only in week 4. A
Yes.
lot of time left. So
Yes.
that will do it for us tonight. We'll be back here next week, 10:35 for Football Tonight. We'll see you then.